My journey actually began during a pandemic, which is kind of weird because, when you're a freshman and it's a pandemic environment, you kind of feel like, I think, like in the beginning, I was just very excited about everything. And I thought, you know what, this pandemic would be over like really quickly and, everything would be back to normal. And I would be, going to dog days events and, be on campus and have so much fun. But then the pandemic went over and like I think it would not end. And it was disappointing at one point. But it is what it is. So I am currently taking classes from India. So that means that there's like a India is like 12 hours 30 minutes ahead of Seattle time. So like I had to take courses at such weird hours that like, and plus since you're a freshman, like you know how like the priority system works. It's kind of hard to get the classes that you want at those specific times. So you got to take what you have, right? And so there were times where I was like so irritated and frustrated because I had to like stay up for nights. Like literally there were times where I think it was the end of winter quarter where I had like three finals in 24 hours and I had like not slept for 3 nights straight because of the amount of like things due final week. So it was like a very, very hard time. And the thing is, if you're also kind of stuck in this like in between world because here in India, like my friends have like a different lifestyle and they have different college experiences. So and the thing is, I wouldn't actually meet them that often because of my crazy schedule. And even if I did, they would kind of like talk about things that I had no idea about. Like I would look at them like, "What are you talking about?" Like, we don't have that. I would feel like really isolated, so I would go and attend these like student events. So if you go to like these different UW student events, like they would talk about like certain, like cultural jokes, as people say. And I would kind of feel left out, like, what are you guys talking about? So there was this like in between phase that I was stuck up in. And I was like, okay. So then I decided, you know what, let's just focus on our studies and like let's not think about this. So I started doing that. But like we're all humans and we're a creature of like social interaction. So when that didn't happen, I was like, I have to figure out a way because I'm feeling super isolated. And I would, like there were times where I was literally crying the entire time. And I would get angry and irritated at everything and anything. And that's when I decided that maybe I should look into clubs. And I remember like I had heard about Circle and I'd heard about Fives. Those were the only two clubs that I really like had heard about. And I done like a couple of events from different clubs. Like I think it was the Indian Student Association, the South Asian Student Association. I mean, they were fun events, but I was like, if I have to join a club, I'm not sure, because if you are a STEM student, you're a freshman, you are kind of like you want to take the right steps, right? You don't want to make things more difficult for you. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just see. So I went to like an info session by Fayuts about, what are the events that they have and everything. And I really like those events. So then I went to their events page or whatever, and then I showed up to like a couple of events, and I really had fun because Fayuts is basically a club that has like a lot of international students who are both undergrads, grads, postgraduates, and so you can. I mean, I just felt like that community had a lot of people are who actually go through the same things as you, and I just got like some kind of closure there. So I felt like, and now I started, then I got more involved, joined committees, and we like organized different events for FIUs. One of them was the Culture Fest Expo that happened in February. this year. So it was just fun to see kind of different countries represented through web pages and also representing your own country. So I submitted a lot of content for the India page. So that felt nice. And also like kind of rewarding after everything was done, and just people appreciating your culture and you know what you bring to the table. So yeah, but I also remember being like, so I've always been like into dancing and stuff like that. I mean, I think I attended a session by the UW Kahani, which is a Bollywood dance group at UW. And I have actually, like, I'm a trained Kathak dancer. So Kathak is basically a a traditional Indian dance form, which like portrays the mythological stories of Indian culture. And it's like it's very strict on your movements. It's almost like ballet, where everything has to be perfect, and whatever, and all of your hand motions, or the like, so people, we call it mudras, which is basically about your finger movements, and like everything has to be perfect. So I remember attending some sessions of UW Kathakars, which is basically a Katha group at UW. And